In a world that can feel pretty chaotic and overwhelming, where do we even start to look for hope? Well, today, we're going to dive into an ancient and incredibly powerful story. It's a story of cosmic despair, but also of a divine promise of restoration. A promise that, you'll see, still speaks to our own deep need for balance and renewal. So, our story kicks off in a really dark time. The world is literally groaning under the weight of so much violence and cruelty. The scriptures say that Mother Earth herself just reached a breaking point. Her soil was soaked with the blood of the innocent, and her heart just couldn't take the endless atrocities of demons and tyrants. I want you to just imagine the planet we live on, not as a chunk of rock, but as a living, breathing being, just weeping in agony. And that brings us to our first act, a world in chaos. And look, we're not just talking about a few bad guys here. We're talking about a complete collapse of order. The whole concept of dharma, that cosmic law of righteousness, duty, and just moral order, it's been thrown out the window. And in that void, a desperate cry for help is pretty much the only thing left. So to make sure her plea is heard in the heavens, Mother Earth does something incredible. She transforms into a cow, which is such a powerful symbol, right? It represents purity, selfless giving, and life itself. She doesn't approach the Creator with rage, but with tears of pure sorrow, her body just trembling with the pain of her children. Her grief is really the grief of every single innocent being suffering under this reign of terror. It's an absolutely heart-wrenching sight. Okay, so this kicks off the second act of our cosmic drama. A plea has been made, but who, in this vast pantheon of gods, actually has the power to answer it? This is a journey that's going to go from a tormented Earth all the way up through the celestial spheres on a desperate quest for a power big enough to fix this shattered cosmic order. So her first stop is the court of Brahmadeva, the grand architect of the universe. It makes sense, right? Who better to fix creation than the Creator himself? And he listens with so much sympathy, his heart just aching for her. But even as the master of creation, he knows this deep-seated evil is like a sickness that's just too big for him to handle on his own. And this is the core of her plea. She cries out, her voice just filled with anguish, laying out the horror that's taken over the world. It's not just conflict, it's a plague of chaos. Innocent people are being slaughtered. Fear is the very air everyone is breathing. The whole fabric of life is being ripped apart at the seams. So Brahmadeva knows this is way bigger than him. He realizes they need more power, so he seeks out Bhagwan Shiva, the great destroyer. Now think about the gravity of this for a second. The fundamental forces of creation and destruction, which we usually see as opposites, now have to team up. This alliance just shows you the sheer scale of the crisis. It's a threat so profound that it takes the combined might of the cosmos to even face it. And it's not just them anymore. The whole crew starts to assemble. All the devas, the divine beings, the celestial gods, they all join the cause. This incredible assembly travels together. Their combined light just a testament to how serious the situation is. The entire divine realm is now mobilized, united for one single purpose, as they journey to their final destination. And where are they all headed? To a place called Kshirosagar, the celestial ocean of milk. Now this is no ordinary place. It's a realm of pure tranquility, of infinite potential. It's the very heart from which cosmic balance and order flows. Imagine a sea of liquid light. That's the divine home of the ultimate preserver of the universe. And there, right at the center of this cosmic ocean, they find Sri Narayana, also known as Vishnu, the preserver. He's resting, completely serene, upon the infinite coils of the cosmic serpent, Adi Shesha. His presence is just this beacon of perfect peace and absolute power, even as this urgent crisis is unfolding. He is the anchor of the universe, the one who keeps it all in balance. He is their last and their greatest hope. And this right here is the moment we've been building to. Act 3, the climax of our whole epic tale, the divine promise. After this perilous journey, after this desperate plea from the combined forces of earth and heaven, an answer is finally going to come from the very heart of the cosmos. The question is just hanging there in the celestial air, heavy and absolute. The world is overrun by darkness. The gods themselves can't seem to intervene. So what power could possibly be great enough to confront an evil that has brought the entire cosmos to its knees? And then Narayana speaks. The scriptures say his voice is sweet and soothing. And with these simple words, he just cuts through that dense fog of fear and desperation. He doesn't offer some complex strategy or a distant hope. He offers himself. He promises to come down from his cosmic throne, to be born as a human on Earth, and to meet this evil face to face. And hey, this isn't some vague, I'll get around to it promise. Nope. He lays out the entire blueprint for restoration. He's very specific. He'll be born into the Yadu Vamsha, a noble clan. He names his future parents, Devaki and Vasudev. And crucially, he makes sure he won't be alone. All the Devas who came to plead with him will also be born on Earth as his kinsmen, the Yadavas, to help him in his divine mission. It's all planned out. With that one powerful promise, everything changes. Just like that, the despair vanishes, and it's replaced by this absolute certainty and profound relief. The scriptures say they were all satisfied and returned happily, their faith completely restored. The promise was enough. They knew balance was coming back to the world and that light was once again going to conquer the darkness. Okay, that is a magnificent story, right? But what does a cosmic battle from some ancient text have to do with our lives, right here, right now? Well, this final section is where the myth becomes a mirror. This is where we find this epic struggle and its divine solution reflected right inside ourselves. Let's just connect the dots here for a second. The earth overrun by demons? Think about it. That's a pretty powerful metaphor for our own lives, when we let destructive habits and negative patterns take control, isn't it? The suffering that spreads through the world? Well, that's the internal chaos that happens when our character is tested and we start to lose our moral compass. And the divine intervention? That's that moment of clarity, that aha moment, when we seek guidance from our faith, from a mentor, or even from our own deep-seated self-awareness to get our inner balance back. So here's the bottom line. The source material draws a straight line from this myth to our personal lives. The tools for our own restoration are discipline and the right kind of faith. These are the things that shape our character and stop those demons of bad habits from taking over in the first place. So how do we actually do this? How do we start this personal restoration? Well, the wisdom of this ancient story gives us a really clear three-step path. First, you have to acknowledge the imbalance. You got to shine a light on those demons, your bad habits. Second, seek wise counsel. Just like the gods knew they couldn't do it alone, we need to turn to our teachers, our families, our faith for guidance. And third, you have to act with purpose. You have to make a conscious, dedicated effort to correct your course and uphold that goodness, that dharma within you. And this is really the great takeaway from our explainer today. The story of Narayana's promise isn't just some relic from a time long ago. It's a timeless living cycle. The potential for chaos and the promise of restoration exists not just out there in the cosmos, but within each of us every single day. It's an ongoing personal journey to maintain the sacred balance of our own inner world. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Our story started with a world in chaos and a divine promise to restore it. If we see our own lives, our families, and our communities as our world, what is the one promise of restoration you can make today to bring just a little more balance, a little more light, a little more goodness back into it?